All right. So, this is my digital lifeline. I'm really excited to talk you through my life and where I'm at right now. So, just as an overview, this is kind of an overall idea of what I'll be going over today. However, there are definitely a lot of pieces within here that I just couldn't fit on this format. So I have a lot of other information to go over, and you'll see that throughout the slide. So this is just kind of like a general idea of what exactly we'll talk about today. So I was born on January 11th, 1996. A Star is Born. Love that movie, so I just included it. I was born in Morehead City, North Carolina, to Keith and Noreen Walker at the time. I was the firstborn in my family, and my dad had just started his own company before I was born. He started a community development nonprofit that he still works for to this day. And my mom, for the most of my childhood, probably till I was about 10 or 11, was a stay-at-home mom. My dad was pretty much the breadwinner, as they would say, for my family. So I have some extended family, some aunts and uncles on my dad's side. A few of them passed away before I ever got to get to know them. So his side of the family was a little smaller. And then my mom is from Ireland. So all of my Irish family, of course, lives thousands of miles away. So I didn't really get to see a lot of my extended family a lot, especially when I was younger and my family didn't have a lot of money to travel. So my mom and my dad had made some really great family friends. And I basically just grew up with their kids. They were cousins to me. We would have family reunions, lots of play dates. It was a great time. So as I said, my dad started his own business. I was lucky that I have grown up in a very comfortable middle-class family due to my dad being an entrepreneur and having a successful business, which has been really nice. Lots of family trips growing up. I will always say that I had a really great childhood because that's definitely true in my eyes. So from ages 5 to 14, a few things happened. I got a little sister. She was born in 2000. We did not get along. And as in our childhood, recently, over maybe the past 2 years, even, we've become extremely close, like so entirely close. We call and text each other every single day. I also attended private schools until ninth grade, through ninth grade. I was raised Catholic and went to Catholic school, and then attended Christian school from sixth to ninth grade as well. And I also really enjoyed sports. So I played softball and basketball, volleyball, soccer. Really loved soccer and volleyball. Played that until about my junior year of high school. So as I said, my mom was born and raised in Dublin, Ireland. However, most of my family, at least my immediate family, has moved to County Kerry, which is on the west coast of Ireland. I still have extended family in Dublin, in that area. And I went there a lot to visit growing up. It's very fond memories, and I have a lot of dreams where I see Ireland because it's just so beautiful. So ages 14 to 16 was a huge transition for me, starting with my parents getting a divorce. So basically we were told that my parents were getting a divorce. My sister and I had no idea this was happening, as many kids do. And then my mom took my sister and I on a trip to visit my Irish family. We came back and my dad had already found a new house. So that was a pretty quick and crazy transition for my sister and I. After that, I had also been bullied really harshly at the Christian school that I had been going to from sixth to ninth grade. It was also very conservative, and even back then I understood my values did not align with the things they were trying to say. It was a little too radical for me. So I had begged my parents for years to take me out of the school, and eventually they did decide to put me in public school just because it wasn't a healthy environment for me. And then lastly, when I was about 15 years old, my mom did come out to me as lesbian. That ended up being, of course, the reason for my parents' divorce, and there was a lot of fallout that came from that. My mom and I actually were not very close after that for some time as she was dating and figuring out her life. It was really hard for me to cope, and I kind of saw her as somewhat absent during that period. So we did take a lot of time for us to get our relationship back to the way it used to be. So I started working at the age of 16. I worked at Beaufort Grocery Company, a restaurant in my hometown. It's pretty ritzy. I worked there as a busser and then as a hostess, and I also waited tables. I worked there from 16 years old, when I was legally allowed to, in North Carolina, until age 19, when I had gotten some jobs in college, which is the next part. So I went to UNC Charlotte. I was an OL. That completely changed my life, helped me realize my identity as a woman of color, and it helped me find my confidence to be a leader. And because of this, I was able to take 3 years after my first year when I was an OL and really apply the things that I learned from my leadership position in that role. From that, I made some really amazing friends through joining Greek Life and through different leadership roles. These are all people that I still talk to this day, almost daily. I have a lot of group chats, and they really keep me grounded. These are people who have really helped me figure out who I am and support me. I realized I loved student affairs probably my sophomore into junior year, and spent about a year and a half planning for grad school, and I knew that was something that I wanted to be a part of. And then ENA 2.0. So I realized I had a really strong work ethic in undergrad. I held a lot of leadership positions and had a lot of internships, and that just spurred me further. I gained a lot of amazing mentors from that role as well. And it just kind of led me to student affairs even more so, and to UGA specifically for being such a great program. So where I'm at now, so I do work at dog camp. I absolutely love my job and my students. They are so pure and so wholesome, and they just make me very happy and excited to work with students like them, hopefully for the rest of my life. I also understand now, being a grad student, that grad school is very tough. It's hard to find the balance between school and work and personal life, but I also find that to be a good challenge for me. And also, just as a human, I've realized that memorable life experiences are what really matter to me. I've become really inspired to travel and create authentic relationships and just live my life to the fullest. So that has become a really big part of my life. Moving forward, I really like this picture because I realize that some of the students that I may work with may be this old right now, and that's a little bit crazy to me, but I think working with students who look like me, students who don't look like me, all different types of students is really what I care about. I want to advocate for their experiences in the way that I was advocated for, in the way that I was catered to, so I kind of foresee that, as you can see in the corner over here. I want to work in orientation and then move into being a dean of students, and hopefully one day into a vice president for student affairs. Where is still kind of hairy for me. I'm figuring it out. I'm kind of open, but I know I eventually want to be a vice president. So that is my long-term goals. And yes, that is my life.